Ricardo Dominguez teaches a visual arts class at the University of California at San Diego. And he recently got into a little bit of trouble by a parent because apparently part of his final assignment includes students who have to discover their erotic self. Now, some of the students have to get naked. No, all of them have to get naked, but not necessarily in the way that you think. Now, let me tell you what the issue is. It's over a syllabus entry that refers to an erotic self assignment requiring students to create a gesture that traces the outlines or speaks about your erotic selves. Let's stop right there for a second. This story makes me realize how unartistic I am, because as I read this, all I can do is roll my eyes. But nonetheless, I continue.
No, I'm right there with your sister.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm like,
discover your erotic self.
Don't make me pinch my nipples, okay? Like, I was like, oh, get beyond it. Anyway, of course, we're going to back him a little bit on some parts.
I'm going to back him a lot. Okay, so the class description on the Department of Visual Arts website says, using autobiography, dream, confession, fantasy, and other means to invent oneself in a new way or to evoke the variety of selves in our imagination, the course experiments with and explores the rich possibilities available to the contemporary artist in his or her own persona. So he's...
Yeah, I'm rolling my eyes again.
Yeah, so look, here's the thing. The main point is that everyone has access to the syllabus. It's online. You can read it. You can see what it says. You can see what the class entails, and that's critical, okay? So as a student, you get to make a decision as to whether or not you take this class. Now, there are certain classes where you don't get a decision. They're mandatory, right? They're part of the core curriculum of a particular university. In this case, it's an elective, so you don't even need this class to graduate. Nonetheless, this parent is still upset. Ricardo Dominguez says it's a standard canvas for performance art and body art. If they are uncomfortable with this gesture, they should not take this course. Now,
okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Now, I took a
human sexuality
course, yes. So it would have been, and we watched pornos. Awesome. Okay, I'm a genius for taking it. I got credit for it. And by the way, not a big deal, A+. Okay. You can't take that class and then be like, oh my God, they talk about sexuality here. Oh my God, they showed sexuality here. Now, this is, in my opinion, a slightly different. Now, it's an art class. I'm not sure that I would have known that we were going to be naked in the art class. Okay. Now, you say, well, the syllabus is clear. I mean, you're a nerd, so you probably read all the syllabus before you took the classes. But me, I'd just be like, I don't know, yeah, sure, stats, accounting, human sexuality. Let's move on with our lives, right?
So here's what always happened. Well, I don't know if it always happened with you, but it certainly always happened with me. And I teach a course, and it happens in my course as well. I go over the syllabus with the students on the very first day. If you don't like my class, you drop it, and no harm done. You drop it. It's not on your record. It doesn't hurt you in any way. So the students who take the class know what they're in for.
Yeah, and so if on the first day, in this case, he tells you, hey, listen, at the end of the class, we're all going to get naked and pinch the nipples. Okay,
yeah.
Then that's it. It's over. It's the easiest decision in the world. You continue in that class, you've signed up for that, literally.
But just to be absolutely clear with everyone, he does not tell anyone that they need to pinch their nipples, okay? And by the way, another really important part that you guys should know about is that when he says that you need to get naked, it doesn't necessarily have to be physically naked. It could also mean emotionally naked.
Okay, so that's a huge caveat. By the way, I like this too, because the reason we're calling him the nutty professor is not because we're against him or it's a crazy idea. It's because he also releases the Kraken. He also gets naked with the students. Okay, so one of the parents is upset on Facebook. Yeah.
So she posts about it on Facebook. She's causing a ruckus, and it's also sparked a conversation on Facebook, of course. So I just want to read you one of the comments that I found hilarious. One person says, that professor sounds like an undercover Chester the molester using his profession to fulfill his pervert needs.
His pervert needs, that sounds fun. Okay, look, I think there's some degree of truth in it. Okay, that's where I know I'm a bad guy and he's gonna hate me and everybody's gonna hate me. But like, you really you need to get naked with the students? Like, I'm a dude, so maybe I'm a much worse guy than he is. So
probably,
so I always assume when everybody's like, hey, let's get naked together, that you've got ulterior motives, right? Now, that being said, look, it's not like it's a math class where they're getting naked together. Well, as you can see, the isosceles triangle looks like this, and my cock looks like that. Right?
I want to show you my cock at a 45-degree angle.
Yeah, exactly. Well, maybe there is a good reason for it. No, it's an art class. And in art class, sometimes you draw naked things, right? Like the artists get the carte blanche to be naked, right? And so it makes all the sense in the world. I get it. It's an elective. He told you that being naked was part of it. So totally not guilty.
Not guilty. I agree with you. And look, is there an obvious salacious element to it? Yeah, I mean, he's human. The students are human. I'm sure the students get a rise out of seeing their classmates naked as well. But if they can do it in the name of an art class, then cool. What I find interesting, though, is where do you draw the line when it comes to an art class, right? So everyone's getting naked together in a class, and it's okay because they're doing it for art's sake. They're doing it to learn. So what if there's like a performance art element of it? Right? How far can they go? When is it deemed inappropriate?
All I know is don't get it anywhere near me. Okay. So, and again, one more thing to fully explain this super clear. As Anna pointed out, you don't have to get naked. You can get emotionally naked, right? Which again sounds artsy, but it is an art class, and that's the route I would have chosen. And only one of the students chose that. Everybody else chose to get naked, right? In this last semester, apparently. But to me, that's interesting. That might be a lot more soul-bearing than just being physically naked. And maybe that's why only one person chose it, because it actually makes them more uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And by the way, that's how I got my A+ in the human sexuality class, because I wrote about my sex life or lack thereof.
Wow. That's very vulnerable.
Yes, and my professor read it, and she's like, Jesus, man, your life sucks.
I'm going to give you an A. Maybe that'll make things a little better.
Yeah, make things a little bit better. She's like, oh, that was super honest and, and hard for you to write, I'm sure, and it was. And so I get it. And so putting all the kidding aside, I'm pro art. I like art. I like tacos, okay? And in the class, you apparently also get to see tacos.